You're from FIFA Mundial, and of course we're interested in why did you choose to come here to visit us?
First of all, it's a privilege for us to be here. Football is played around the world, and this program, as the name suggests, FIFA Futbol Mundial, is about football around the world. Whether it's played on the Cook Islands, in the Pacific Ocean, or in Chile, or anywhere else in between, we are interested. And of course, we are here to do a profile on the club, FC Midtjylland. The reason we chose this club is not just because this is a club in the Danish Superliga, it's because what the club is doing within the community here in this part of Denmark, and also well beyond the Danish borders into West Africa. They were in Ghana before having an academy, now in Nigeria. And as we all know, football is now very divided at club level. There are clubs with a great deal of money and clubs who need to survive somehow and be able to compete, not just to survive. And what FC Midtjylland has done in the last few years, since 2004 when you established the academy, is very commendable. It's something that perhaps other clubs around the world should be having a very close look at. A club with very limited resources managed to not only fund themselves, but also introduce players to the national team at all levels. And that's the main reason we are here to do a profile on this club.
Okay. What have been your thoughts so far about the whole environment in the club and the academy?
Very, very impressed. The academy has everything a young player dreams about. When you bring an 18, 19-year-old Nigerian to this environment, they come from an environment where they barely have a football. They improvise. They put together socks to make a football. And then they come here, their education is taken care of, their nutrition is taken care of, their training from 7:30 in the morning to the time they go to bed, including the time they have with private tuition and the high school, is all taken care of. And for the local players, when they see a local boy, like Jesper, who has made it to the national team, age 23, if a 13-year-old looks at Jesper and say, "Oh, he was my neighbor. If he has done it, maybe I can do it myself." So, and all this has been made possible on the back of the efforts you have made through the football academy within the club. We have been very impressed with the facilities, with dorms, with the level of details that the club basically affords to these young players. And it's something that perhaps even bigger clubs should be having a very close look at.
You mentioned the thing about Nigeria. We have this collaboration with the Nigerian club. In Denmark, it has sparked sometimes a bit of controversy about taking young African players up to play in Europe. What's your view on that?
A few years ago, there was a situation in Belgium where very, very young African players from Cameroon, from French-speaking African countries, had been left to their own devices, where they were left in houses where no one was there to look after them. They were 12, 13-year-old children. And FIFA introduced a rule whereby no player under the age of 17 could be signed by a European club. What we have seen here is these players are chosen very carefully. They are not brought in huge numbers. They are selected from the academy where they spend their time. And when they are brought here, they have already gone through a selection process by your own coaching staff. And whilst they are here, they are very well looked after. They are not, like in the cases of in the past, what it amounted to was basically child trafficking. It's far from that. And these African players, they have dreams of coming to Europe, playing for bigger clubs. And when you see where they come from and where they are now, there's a huge gap in between. So in terms of how these players are treated, they couldn't even dream of having this opportunity, and they are grasping it with both hands in order to realize their dreams. And for a club like FC Midtjylland, this is an opportunity to groom players and perhaps sell them on to other bigger clubs in order to finance the club.
As we talked about earlier, you travel a lot to see a lot of football around the world. How would you compare the technical abilities of the Danish players you visited here in FC Midtjylland compared to, say, the bigger clubs in England, Spain, or whatever?
Danish players traditionally are very physical, but unlike perhaps it's not just the physique. They're also very technical. They can adapt to different tactics. Hence, your success at the World Cup level and the European Nations Cup level, with such small population, you have great history in international football. So it's not just like some countries that place the emphasis on physical football, and some countries just are good at tactical. Denmark in general, not just FC Midtjylland, the players are very adaptable. They have an open mind, and that's probably the main reason. In 1992, everyone remembers the Danish players were on vacation on the beaches of, I can't remember where, but within 10 days they were in the most important competition in Europe, and 2 weeks later they lifted the trophy. So that also is a testament to the level of mental fitness of those players, because in football that mental fitness is as important as the physical fitness.
So far you've been in Denmark for 3 days. What has been the thing you've been most impressed with so far?
I have been to other parts of Denmark, mainly Copenhagen and areas around Copenhagen. What has impressed me the most about this part of Denmark is, despite the fact that it's a small town and a small community, the club, if I'm only talking about the FC Midtjylland, that what I have observed is how dedicated the staff are to the task in hand, whether it's the head coach or the kit man or the person who looks after the players' education. They are 100% committed to what the club has asked them to do, and I think that's probably the main reason for such a small club like FC Midtjylland. They have achieved so much in their short history since 1999.
Okay. In the documentary you're doing about FC Midtjylland, what do you think by now would be the main focus?
I think the main focus will be on the youth player development, and that's what the strength of the club is. To bring up players from, as I said previously, for a club with such limited resources, small population base in the area, to groom players from a small population base, and plus bring in players from abroad, it requires a great deal of planning, dedication, and not just have the academy and maybe 1 or 2 players will make it, but they also look after the players' needs outside football. The fact that there is a special emphasis placed on education. Let's face it, not every single one of those players become a professional player. Of every 10, maybe 1, or maybe out of every 20, maybe 1, and there's 9 or 19 who don't have a future in football. But if they have an education, they'll have a future for themselves. And in the majority of cases, especially with players from Africa, the education they get here, the experience they get here from a different culture is invaluable.
Okay. Could you tell the viewers about FIFA Mundial and where they can see your documentary?
FIFA Futbol Mundial is an international half-hour weekly program which is produced in London, United Kingdom, and distributed worldwide, globally, to more than, according to officially independently statistics, 300 million households in 6 different continents. The statistics goes back to 2005, so that number is increased, but because we don't have the official independently audited stats since 2005. I refer to that number. And the program, I believe, in Denmark is aired on TV2, and the feature we produce, we are producing 2 features on FC Midtjylland, one on the club itself and the youth academy, and the other one on how fans have reacted to the merger of 2 clubs in 1999, and because we have other clubs in different parts of the world who have been established as a result of merger between rival clubs, and that one will be broadcast later on. And Futbol Mundial is in its, it was first broadcast in January 1994, and so next year we'll have our 20th anniversary, and 52 weeks a year. So it's been very well received by broadcasters around the world. The program has kept its mandate, and that's why broadcasters come back every year and basically purchase the program to air.
How many clubs do you visit a year?
That's and we are constantly on the road, because every week we have 4 different features plus smaller features which we call the strands, and in order to fill the program you have to be always on the road. And it's, I think, between the 6 of us who work on the production side and as producers, we probably have about 100 international trips in a calendar year, and from those we have to produce different features, and then we travel all over the world, because in order to keep the appeal of the program we have to keep the international side. We can't have just European features, or we can't have just African features. We have to have a good blend of features from different parts of the world, because the program is broadcast in all corners of the world.
So when you have seen a lot of football, I suppose. Now, today you're seeing FC Midtjylland versus Sønderjyske, approximately 2 hours or something. What are you looking forward to that game? I mean, it's a Danish Super League. Is it boring for you?
I'm looking forward to watching a game, and especially the fans, because it takes a lot of dedication to come to watch a game Monday evening, 7 p.m. on a rainy day. It means that you have to be really, really committed to come and watch a game in these conditions, especially during the week. The day after, you have to go to work, or if you are a parent, you have to take your child to school. So there are a lot of elements there for you not to come, and for you to come here, it means that you are really dedicated to your club. So that's first and foremost. And secondly, I'm looking forward to watching these players who have come through the academy and see them at the highest level here in Denmark. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Okay. Well, I hope you'll get a good match here today. And
I think we will.
Yeah. It's very nice to have a talk with you here. So
thank you very much for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.